This video is going to brief you on the general rules and regulations associated with the tax relief program, also known as the VAT program. This program was created by the German government to give military facilities tax-free services. FMWR is extending this program to you as the military member in dependents under SOFA status that are stationed deployed or on TDY to Germany. VAT forms act as a power of attorney from us to you. They are an official German legal document. Not a coupon, so please treat them as such. VAT forms can only be used in Germany. Not in any surrounding countries. They can only be used in store only. This account will stay with you your entire military and/or civilian career at any base in Germany. You can always have up to 10 VAT forms at a time. But there is no limit to the number of VAT forms you can use during your time here in Germany. They are $10 each. If you have all 10 VAT forms out, you will need to turn some in before we can issue you more. There are two different types of VAT forms. The first type is called an NF1, which are for purchases under €2,500. They are good for 2 years. The other type is called an NF2, which are for purchases above €2,500. These are $100 each and are only good for 90 days. If you plan on using one of these in the future, you must come into our office to apply for it first. Remember, do not sign any paperwork. Do not start any service or order any goods. And do not put any money down on what you plan on buying before obtaining your VAT form. Doing so will make you unable to use a VAT form for that purchase. Always check the dates in box 3 before using. Placing an order or starting a service outside of these dates is not allowed. The date of payment or the date you are picking up or receiving the goods or service is irrelevant. The only date that matters is the date the order is placed or the service is started. For example, you cannot drop your car off for repair and then purchase your VAT form the next day. It would technically be considered a violation because your service started before your VAT form became valid. Remember, you must have your VAT form issued to you before starting a service or ordering any goods. This is why we recommend always keeping a few extra forms on hand in case of emergencies like pet services or car repairs. This is a 3 strikes and you're out privilege program. The example used earlier as one way to get a violation. We call it backdating. Another way to get a violation is by using an expired VAT form. They are valid for 2 years from the date they are printed. And if you don't use them by the expiration date printed in box 3, you must return them to the VAT office. Another way to get a violation would be by trying to split an invoice. By splitting an invoice, we mean do not attempt to go through the cashier twice or more on the same day in order to split your purchases between multiple NF1 forms, keeping each purchase under €2,500. For example, let's say you go to the store and want to buy a bed and a couch and they are €2,000 each. The total won't fit on one VAT form, so you try to split them between 2 different VAT forms. That is not allowed. Since you would be trying to go around the €2,500 limit, you may use one VAT form per business per day. This means you could buy the couch one day, then go back the next day to buy the bed. You can use all 10 VAT forms in one day as long as it's at 10 different stores. You just cannot spend more than €2,500 at the same store in one day. If you commit any of these violations, you will be barred from the VAT program until you pay back the taxes on what you bought and bring a receipt along with the entire VAT form back to the VAT office. Having an unresolved violation will hold you up from out processing. Keep in mind that this is a voluntary program for German vendors. They do not have to accept it if they don't want to. How to fill out your VAT form. Make sure the entire form is filled out properly before you leave the store. You must sign your name in box 7 if you have an authorized dependent and their name is printed in box 9 by the VAT office. You are both authorized to use the VAT form. The person making the order should be who signs next to their name. Box 4 must have the amount you spent tax-free. Box 8 must have the date of when you placed the order or started the service. Box 12 must have a brief description of what you bought. Box 13 must have the vendor's stamped signature and date. If they don't have a stamp, have them fill in their business's name, address and phone number. We cannot process the form if any of this information is missing, and we will not accept it without all the blanks completed. Down at the bottom it tells you which copy goes where. The white copy needs to be turned into the VAT office. Contact your local VAT office for Dropbox locations. The pink copy is yours to keep. We always recommend keeping these with your receipts in case anything is missing or if we can't read something. The yellow copy and everything beneath is for the vendor, which they will keep. How to use VAT forms. It depends on where you are. At some larger stores you will go through the register and pay everything up front, including the taxes. You take the receipt in your VAT form to customer service, where they will fill out their portion form and refund you the tax amount. Other stores will just charge you the tax-free price and fill the form out right there at the register. If you are not sure, just ask your cashier before you check out. If you use the form to buy heating oil for your home, your delivery driver may take the entire form with them back to their office. Someone there will fill it out and then they will mail you back your copies. Here are some additional rules to consider. You cannot buy items with a VAT form for individuals outside of the sponsor's immediate family. Any VAT form used must be for someone with an ID card within the sponsor's responsibility, such as spouse or children. You cannot use VAT forms to buy things for resale or commercial purposes. That is considered trading in the commercial sector and is illegal. This includes buying parts for a vehicle for resale or buying supplies for business purposes like printer ink or supplies for your home-based business. If you buy a car and want to register it with the German system, you cannot use a VAT form for it. Cars but tax-free must be registered with you, sir. You cannot use VAT forms for any costs related to buying or selling real estate, utilities, phone plans, or any other long-term contracts. You also cannot use VAT forms for the purchases of homes, furnaces, roofs, garages, gardens, patios, and certain renovations or repairs. If you need to use a VAT form for home renovations or repairs, please contact the VAT office first to find out if your specific purchase is allowed. If you need to use a VAT form for a long-term commitment such as a hotel or rental car, please keep these rules in mind. You must have the form before the reservation is made. If you reach €2,499, you must cash out and start a new reservation to use a new VAT form. Finally, please remember to keep track of these forms. They must all be accounted for before you out process. If you have any questions, please contact your local VAT office for questions or concerns.